Good evening and welcome to my end of the week recap here for SPY and trade plan for next week. Please just bear with me while Thinkorswim does its thing and loads everything up. I've taken a few trades here. I have to go down to the 5-minute chart, which is going to cause Thinkorswim to jump around a little bit more again. So here's the notes from the recent trades I've taken. Last week, even while I was traveling, I was able to get into a few positions. Here we go. Took these initial 18 April 296 calls here at 17 cents. A couple days later, I had a very specific algo trigger and added in another position, these 18 April 290 calls here at 20 cents. Both of these were only 20 contract positions, so nothing huge. It wasn't going to break me or crush my account if it did fail. Still holding the 296s. The 290s I've I scaled out here on the 3rd of April. Right here, reduced some at 114. The remainder of them did actually trail me out right here. In between the entry and exit of that play, I tried to take a short trade, actually a couple of short trades here on the 2nd. I took these 285 puts here at 55. Those took me out here just under 52 cents for a small loss. Looked like we're going to break down below that opening 30-minute range, so I took another stab at these 285s here at 62, actually added in on this bar here at 48, and when you know it, I closed at the exact highs as price action was starting to roll over. I should have had my stop a little bit above this wick, but it is what it is, and I took a loss on that one as well. Later in the day, looked like another potential for a breakdown. Took these 284 puts here at 33. Did work for a little bit. It looked like it was going to be a very nice trade. I think a lot of participants are waiting for a breakdown to actually at least test the ADMA. So that's what this trade was going to be for. I thought it was going to be a quick, fast move. Did not occur. Came up, touched resistance. Looked like it was going to sell off. I got excited again. Went right back up to it, and as it broke above, took a 50% loss on that trade. So probably going to avoid trying to call tops in the SPY. Some other participants on Twitter probably need to do the same thing. Now, I did have one short trade here on the 3rd that worked out. That was these 18 April 287.5 puts. This was based on the Trade Crew SPY bot that we have developed over there. It's been very, very accurate in calling entry and exit levels, not necessarily exact tops and bottoms, but it's been great at calling out very good trades. So come sign up, give it a shot. I believe the SPY bot you might have to pay for, but the forum or the chat room, it is free. So anyways, in here at 230, out at 271. Very nice little swing there. Could have taken a little bit of a larger gain here because it did drop a little bit lower, but that was the entry and that was the exit for the SPY bot. So worked out perfectly. Now going forward throughout the rest of the week, haven't really added to anything for SPY. As I said, I'm still holding those 296 calls. Reason being, I'm looking for this overall flag pattern to play out that I've mentioned a couple of times in my previous videos. Measure move target up to about 290. Now that's not going to put the 296 calls in the money, but they are already up about 200%. So very profitable on those so far. As long as there's not a huge sell-off in the next couple of days, I'll be good to go with those, and I can sell them up here around this level. I don't want to chase anything up here like I have set up for Apple. It just doesn't look like a proper breakout pattern for me. It's just slowly inching its way up. So I've noticed a lot of fin twits trying to say, it's low volume for SPY, blah, blah, blah. This is high relative volume. It is a gap up for SPY, but if we go to futures, which I will in a moment, you'll see this is, even though it looks choppy on the SPY, is very healthy looking on E-mini futures. So anyways, what I will be looking for here is a pullback to the ADMA. Now this is actually going to be a little bit higher tomorrow. So I'll probably be up here. Depending on where it opens, I'll look for 286 calls, maybe 2 weeks in the future. This plus Emma trade, this is a very specific trigger that I share with the Trade Crew guys. It's a very, very, very low risk opportunity to take some trades. It does have a high reward opportunity. So if you want to check that out, again, come try us over at Trade Crew. Also looking for a pullback to the 21 EMA. If it comes down here, I'll take 282 calls about 2 weeks in the future. Just like with the 8 EMA up here, if price action, if the 21 EMA comes up 283, these will be 283 calls plus 2 weeks of time. So it all depends on where these moving averages are when price action meets them. Below there, 50 SMA, I'm looking for 280 calls about 4 weeks in the future. And of course, below here I'll actually go ahead and put another note in here. I'll be looking for 275 calls plus 4 weeks. Now, the reason some of these levels have 2 weeks and some have 4 weeks, well, the 50 and the 200 SMA are generally stronger levels to trade off of, so it should provide a move further into the future. So I want to get in the habit of holding these trades a lot longer. I've done pretty good with some other trades with Citibank, Constellation Brands, Canopy Growth, IIPR, Delphi, Aptiv. There's a lot of other names that we do trade. So just trying to carry that over to the SPY. Now, as I go over here to the futures, E-mini futures here, not quite open yet here on Sunday, but it's still worth mentioning. All those gaps that were on the SPY, they are non-existent here. The one gap that there is was from Monday. This was at 2840-ish area, and it's not been tested yet. So we'll see what happens going forward. Now, I did mention in the trade crew chat room that I was looking at 2897 as a potential profit target for anyone that was still in their longs. Position traders, institutions, hedge funds, algos are probably looking at that the same way. Now, there's a lot of volume here that did come in to Friday, so this at least confirms the move higher outside of a inside bar here on Thursday. Some participants are afraid to trade because the SPY is so elevated, it looks overbought, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. You can justify being out of the market however you wish. Down here, I've said it numerous times, a lot of companies were extremely undervalued. Institutions, funds, investors who were all waiting for the opportunity to buy names bought here. That generated this trend to continue higher. Now it's a matter of momentum and how far will it go before it stops. Now, I'm not in the habit of calling tops. I'm aware this is extended, and we are coming up to the prior breakdown level here for the futures at 2905-ish area to 2945. So up here in this region, I expect some supply. Maybe we pierce above it slightly before rolling back over. As I zoom out on just this chart, I don't have the channel on here that I used to, but essentially what I've been talking about is price action created this channel, and anytime price action on an intraday basis breaks down below a channel and reclaims it, usually you'll get a test of the previous, or excuse me, of the upper end of it at some point. So that's, as of right now, is about 3001, 3010. So that may be a proper profit target to look at before any kind of significant selling comes into play. All that it looks like for sure right now is that bulls are winning. There are more buyers than sellers. Algos are buying and not selling. I don't care about the news. I don't care about politics. I don't care about the issues going on in the world that may or may not affect the market. Price action is king, and that king is telling me every participant, or at least the majority of the participants, are buying. I'm not going to go against trillions of dollars in the market that are pushing price higher by trying to buy puts or short the overall market. There are some fin twats on Twitter, stock twits, YouTube, whatever, that are saying, oh, we're going to crash, we're going to crash, we're going to crash. Everybody wants to be known to call the top. They want to be that one famous person that was saying, oh, we're going to roll over and crash, because doom and gloom sells stories. I'm not here to sell a story. I'm here to trade and make money, and I'll continue to do so because this market is not bearish in any way, shape, or form yet. So if you're following someone that is calling bear wedges every day on a 1-minute chart when you have the 30, hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly time frames green, 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 green all across the board, I'd suggest blocking them, ignoring them, make fun of them, whatever, but do not take the trades that they are suggesting. So that's enough of my rant. That's my analysis and trade plan for next week. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Come join me over at the Trade Crew chat room. Follow along with some of these trades for free. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and good luck tomorrow.